Okay, we're waiting on notification. Mm. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an incredible guest with us, one who's going to give us some powerful information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Brother Aaron Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Josh, how you doing, sir?
Excellent, sir. This is an extreme honor. We are very humbled, myself, my family, and of course the viewing audience, that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come sit with us and let us hear your life journey, sir.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Josh. Thank Allah much for the opportunity to come on your program. I've been watching the program on and off since you got started, and I must admit, when I first saw one of your programs, I thought about Revelation 12. How you were giving the believers an opportunity to share their testimony, which is one of the three ways that Michael and his angels slew the dragon and his angels with their testimony and the blood of the Lamb, which is the life of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as we taught, and they did not love their lives unto death. So we can't put our lives before the work and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I was looking forward to it. And I have to apologize when you said you was trying to reach me about 2 years ago. And I'm like, you said you try to reach out to me messenger. And I'm like, well, I probably don't communicate that way.
Yes, sir.
And as I said before, Brother Rudy reached out to me, a good brother, good friend of mine. And I, looking forward to giving an opportunity to help you out in any way I can, because you're doing a great work, brother. You're giving, again, believers an opportunity to testify. And this is what we need to do on behalf of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. So again, I would like to give from my family our condolences to you and your family. We all know who your father is, one of the great ones. And I had the opportunity to serve under him as a lieutenant when he was a Supreme Captain, and as a captain when he was a Supreme Captain, and now serving him in the ministry down here in Albany, Georgia. So with that one, I just want to say thank you for having us, brother. And inshallah, we'll share what we can share to inspire others and help others to help the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Okay, well, let's start right there then. You said you served in the lieutenancy and then the captaincy. What city was this, and what year was this?
Wow. Well, I came into the nation. I accepted the teachings. I was in college, guys, and I was in a dark hour. My first, and I have to thank Allah, God, my mom. I have a beautiful, strong, God-fearing woman, man.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna tell you, she raised 3 boys, and she know how to throw those. She know how to throw those. Hey, Josh, you play, brother. She know how to throw. She know how to throw those things, man. So, but she kept us in church and kept us going in church. And suit and tie, share with everyone. Suit and tie is nothing new to us. My mom kept us in suit and tie.
Yes, sir.
Kept us in church, and she just kept us studying this man Jesus. Yeah, she just kept us studying this man Jesus. And in my college days, I played football. I went to school out in Utah, at a JUCO in Utah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an experience. But my attitude at the time was, if they paying, I'm playing. So it didn't matter where I went. So I went to JUCO in Utah, and then after that I went to school in Morehead State in Kentucky, and I stayed there for a week, Josh. You know how they do you on these athletes, man. They promise you only not to fulfill, So they had a scholarship for me until I got there. And they told me I had to wait till next year that I can continue to play, but next year they'll help me out. And I said, no. It was a Friday snowy night in Kentucky. And I called one of my junior college coaches, who was the coach in New Mexico. And he said, man, come on out here. We got something for you. So I left. Again, my mom, whatever I needed to do, she made it happen. She got me a flight. I left Kentucky and flew out to to New Mexico. When I got to New Mexico, which is a Division I NAIA school, played ball there. was doing pretty good, you know, but there's a certain side of me that, you know, you it's kind of hard to hold down. And what I mean by that is, you know, dealing with racism and things like that was out there heavy, you know, even amongst our brothers and sisters from the Mexican family, it was heavy against towards us out there. So you know, I had a coach there at the time that, and we fast forwarded right to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And I had a coach out there at the time who was kind of racist. I mean, you know, he'd been there for 7, 8 years and never had graduates under him. So I come out of high school, National Honor Society, who's who among America's students. So praise is due to Allah.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
my mom had them things, bro. She put the things. I'm keeping it 100. So,
Yes,
you know, again, I was using college, of course, with the dreams or hope of going pro, but I was using it to get my education. And I was at one of them schools, Josh, where they want you to take basket weaving and golfing, and I'm like, nah, I'm not having that. So when our coach did our schedule for us, after he signed it, I would go back and change my courses. So I would go to our house around 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock to the field house late because I'm taking classes I need to help towards my graduation. He didn't like that, of course. And, you know, I got a little blackballed out there. But prior to me getting blackballed, the whiteball, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, and the San Francisco 49ers coming to our practices. And word got back to me that they was asking about me. You know, I played next to an All-American out there. And of course they came to see him. But word got back to me that they was asking about me, but I was put off the team and couldn't stay there in New Mexico. What I'm gonna do? So I transferred to Jacksonville State in Alabama. And when I got to Jacksonville State, Alabama, another dream of mine came. You know, I got hooked up with my fraternity brothers, Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's another conversation at another time, Josh.
Yes,
so,
sir. Yes, sir.
You know, I went into a dark state, to be honest, and I was looking for, you know, I was on and off probation, trying to graduate, 5.5 year student, you know, trying to get this degree. My mom, you know, being the first to graduate in my family at college, my mom was really excited, so I was struggling at the time. So I was in a dark hour, man, in my life, really trying to find a way. So I was amongst the bros. We all philosophizing like we do. And man, it's a brother, I never forget him. His name was Brother Stefan. And he came in our cipher. And you know, we all boxed up to cut the parts, to go through. You know how he is. And he all suited and booted, suit and bow tied down. And we just started talking about Africa, blackness, and all this. And he started teaching on the tribe of Shabazz. And I'm, you know, and I'm listening. And then all he said was, the example was, you know, just feel your eyebrows. So when he walked away from us, I walked with him. I said, yo, bro, where you get that from? He reached in his briefcase and he gave me a tape of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And the tape was The Truth About Christmas. Now, mind you, the God is working, because in my household, Josh, Christmas was big, bro.
Yes, sir.
Mom's being a single parent, brother. She did a thing for us, man. We had the biggest tree on the block. Everybody had gifts. So Christmas was big, you know, and then coming out of the church, Christmas was big. So I went to my room and I started studying, man. And that was it, brother. It was 1988, 89. I got my ex, 1989. And I came under Minister Theo Muhammad at the time. And man, but Minister Theo, man, I thank Allah much for him, because he gave me an example on how to love the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. He, man, this was before I got back home in Newark now. 4 hours, any 4-hour radius, he had me there with the minister. He said that we had tape connection on the campuses, man. So he was taking me around different places with different people and the minister, and oh man, you know, so he was kind of taking care of the baby. And I thank Allah much for Minister Theo. Forever thank Allah for him, brother, because he taught me how to love the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. So I graduated, you know, and when I heard the truth, brother, actually, I was like, man, I'm done, man. I've been wasting time on this campus. I'm out of here, man. You know, and he was like, no, brother. He said, go ahead and graduate and take the degree and give it to your mother. So, yeah, all praise is due to Allah. So I went underground, as they say, studied, graduated off the dean's list with computer information systems. but again, had to go back home because I had to help my city from Jersey City, New Jersey. And then I became, under the great ones, Minister Kadir, Mosque number 25, Newark, New
Yes, sir.
Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Man, brother, powerful individual. Uh, Brother Theodore, may Allah be pleased with him, was the captain at the time. Very, very, learned a lot from Brother Theodore about taking care of the men. He didn't allow anybody to, abuse the brothers. He gonna look out for the brothers. So yeah, I eventually became a lieutenant. I was actually assistant Minister Kadir in the ministry at first. Then I became a lieutenant under Brother Theodore. And then I became a first officer under the great Captain Majid Muhammad in Newark. I learned to be a first officer from my brother Paul from New Jersey. Brother Paul from New Jersey. He, man, is very impactful in my development as well. So you learn as we move along. We learn, but that was my entry into the nation. That's how I got back home, and that was the start of me in the nation as well in Newark. So.
Praise be to Allah. And I want to make sure that we thank, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience, we want to thank you for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family, sir.
Yes, sir.
We want to, what position did you play in football? I played football. What position did you play?
I played linebacker. Man, I was much bigger, brother.
Okay.
Inside linebacker, Josh. I was about 230, 240, playing weight. Yeah, much bigger.
That fits your personality for sure. Yes, sir. That definitely fits.
Did you play football too? I think you told you running back.
Yes, sir. Running back. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, now let's talk about now that you're a linebacker, football personality, so it makes sense why you chose the Brotherhood of Omega Psi Phi. What was it that made you choose them above the other fraternities?
My eighth grade teacher. My eighth grade teacher, Witherspoon from Jersey City. I got a peep, caught his brand on his arm and didn't know anything about it. And he just started teaching me the alphabet, the Greek alphabet. So I always wanted to be a maker. And it's interesting because all my college years, man, the way it was playing out wasn't like probably wasn't going to happen because I went to Utah. They didn't have a fraternity. I got to New Mexico. They didn't have it. Well, when I went to Kentucky, they had it, but I transferred, went to New Mexico. They didn't have it. We was trying to get a chapter there. And lo and behold, I went to Jacksonville State, Alabama, Theta Eta. Shout out to my brothers from Theta Eta, no place greater.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And me again, God is always with you, Josh. He's always with you. We see signs of it. My upbringing from my mom, and I don't want to leave my father out because my father was very instrumental in my life as well.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't in my household, but he's always was around.
Yes, sir.
My father lived in Queens, New York, and he was always around. So when I got into the fraternity, that was another reality, man. And then me being the only one pledged by myself, and that'll blow your head up, man. That'll blow your head up, man. I, pledging by myself in the South, Alabama, by myself, it'll blow your head up. And so that's one of the things that got me into a dark hour. And then, the minister eventually comes into my life via the word,
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Now, you spoke of Minister Theo teaching you how to take care of the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan. What was it that how did he teach you that?
Man, brother, he had me around events. He took me to events. The first time I saw the minister live, brother, was on Lynch Street in Mississippi, man. And man, he brought me right there in the front row. Anytime Minister Theo took me somewhere, he always put me in a place where I needed to be, and to learn. Give you an example. When I first got my ex in October, my first Savior's Day, I went to a regional meeting in Atlanta, and because I came into the South, and I still had my goatee, but he never really said anything to me about my goatee. He just let me. So when I got up to the regional meeting, one of the brothers, brother, what you do? What's that? I said, what? He said, we're not supposed to have it. I said, I didn't know that, bro. Man, brother, got back, man. I said, Brother Theo, man, come on, you're supposed to give it to me 100, bro. Don't have me out there. He said, no, I wanted you to learn, brother. I wanted you to learn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Again, with that point, he taught me, man, do not focus on minute things, man. He was just focusing on my development and me becoming a better person. And again, hair, man, that comes and goes, man. So we don't focus on those little things. I had to learn that. So going on detail, one of the things he taught me very early in my age, when we go with the minister, you don't leave right out. You stay a day over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Give you an example of how that came out. My first Savior's Day is Washington, D.C., 1989. And again, we always stay a day over. So after the event, the minister calls his press conference about his vision-like experience. I'm sitting right there in the first, looking right at the minister as he's sharing his vision-like experience of him going on the wheel.
Yes, sir.
Staying a day over. We stayed a day over. The wheels made their appearance in DC at the time. So all praise is due to Allah. So those are the things that helped develop me that I kept with me, man. And then when I got to Newark, of course, it was the same thing. Anytime the minister is anywhere, we're going to be present and on deck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had this thing that, man, if we don't show up, maybe the mother plane might come down, brother, and we get left, man. Or something go down and we hear about it and we're not present, how we gonna feel, man? So
yes, sir. Yes,
that
sir.
spirit and that energy was always there with us.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. But we got to go right back to the press conference now. Let's go right back. So you're sitting in the front row, and when you hear the Most High Min Farrakhan talk about his vision-like experience, what does that do to you?
Well, Josh, again, my mother, my upbringing, believing in Jesus, man, and it's relevant because I tell you, people ask me, man, how did you leave the church? Why did you leave the church? I said, well, I went to look for Jesus. I went to look for what my mother taught me, and I found him in the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. So me studying the scripture the way my mother had us in, when I met the minister and I heard him, I started following him. I seen the book started coming to life. So you read about Paul having a vision-like experience and those things like that. Now they're coming to life, For the scripture says you read the scripture and in them you think you have life when they testify me. So this is Jesus talking. So we read the book. We think we got life in the book, but the book doesn't come to fruition until you see the man.
Yes, sir.
But
yes,
I'm
sir.
listening to and I'm hearing the minister. Of course, I'm a baby. So I don't have nothing in me to dispute what he's saying. So I'm taking it in. Until this day, every now and then I go back and I listen to the minister's a press conference in DC because I know and I believe that he laid something on my mind. I was a baby, brother, sitting in the front row.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And when you said the wheels made an appearance, what did that do to you for you being young in Islam?
Well, hey, brother, see, it's in the scripture, Josh. And I'm gonna give you some. And you could call Minister Theo for this, though. This really don't share too well. We at our college campus now, and I'm young. I don't even think I have my ex. Again, he taking me around, moving. We out in the field. We soldiering. He doing speaking engagements. He's taking me with him. I don't even have my ex at the time. We're having study group class on our campus on Leon Cole Library, about maybe 10 stories high. But we rented the top part. And as I'm standing there on post, Minister Theo is teaching on the mother plane. Now we had glass windows up top. I look outside and there's this bright orange wheel in the sky. I looked over to Minister Theo and I said, brother, and he looks over. He takes everybody in the audience, all the youth, we go out on the balcony and look at this bright orange wheel in the sky.
Praise be to Allah.
Now watch what happens. We come back in, he continues to teach. I look over, it's gone. He calls everybody out on the balcony and tell them to look in the sky and it's gone. So again, attribute that, I thank Allah much for Brother Theo. He had me in the study. He always made sure that I had something that I needed to defend myself. Here you go, brother. Guilty as follows the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, guilty as shirt. You're going to need this. Because I know now when we started the study group on the campus, now all these Islamic study groups want to pop up now. Now we ain't real Muslims, but he already laced me, as they say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, and the reason I like to share that's why I thank you, Josh, for the opportunity, because that's my upbringing and that's what I try to give to others when they come into the Nation of Islam. We try to give them what they need, because there's going to be a lot of people out there, as the scripture says, the dragon waiting for the baby to be born.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Brother Theo gave me what I need, man. Our tape connection, oh, brother, he made sure I was eating the word.
Praise be to Allah.
That wasn't new to me. That wasn't a surprise when I saw the wheel. I've seen them several times and things like that. It doesn't, it wasn't a surprise. So when the minister said he went up on it, I can see that happen. I can. That's the reality of it. And my life testifies of that. My life testifies of that, because the minister have done so much to me. He's healed me in all possible ways, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I've had a death door experience. I went to death and back. I was down to 105 pounds, man, and couldn't figure out. Yes sir. And man, it just took me. And I had just moved. Man, it's an emotional situation right there. I had just moved to Albany, and man, I thank Allah much for my wife. Man, brother, when Allah bless you with a good wife, man, good God from heaven, brother. Hey, look, I say it all the time, and could be wrong. Hey, Allah did his thing for me, gave me a good wife. Hey, look, hey, Josh, I really don't need nothing else, man.
Yes, sir.
To be honest with
yes,
you,
sir.
But I need mercy. I pray for mercy, and because none of us are perfect, man. We go through things we go through. And but yeah, near-death experience, man. And the minister and his word healed me and brought me back. And he touched me, and it took me a while to try to understand, why did the minister touch me in a particular area? He did. I was with the minister in Belize at that time. And it dawned on me maybe about a year or two later, he was finishing the process, because I had got cut from the operation in a certain area. And the minister, man, in the situation, man, that the way it is, he walked up to me, and man, I was just standing there. You're on post. He's standing right in front of me, and he took his hand and he waved it, went down all the way down to the position where my hand's at on post. And man, it was kind of like, strange though. But then it dawned on me, that's where I had the surgery at. And in my mind, he was completing the healing process. And that was, man, 10 years ago, I had cancer, and I'm here right now, cancer-free, no medication, no nothing, brother. But the story with that, Josh, praise be to Allah, I would like to share to show you the power of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Man, in 2007, when the Honorable Minister Farrakhan went through what he experienced, that major surgery, and he came out in Detroit, brother.
Yes, sir.
Man, and the way he was looking, Josh, brother, tears came from my eyes, and these words came from my mouth. Man, praise be to Allah, we can make it. We can make it. Because I saw him, that came from my mouth, not knowing in 2009, 2 years later, I was going to be dealing with a death experience, man. When I went down to 105 pounds, didn't want to eat food, didn't want to drink, and had to have emergency surgery. A tumor grew up in my intestines. Yeah. See, not knowing though, 2 years later, but in that trial, my wife was by my side, man. My son at the time was 7 years old, sat with me. I mean, there was nights where I couldn't sleep, man, so much pain. And man, brother, I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy, brother, what that pain feel like, man, what I was going through. So, the minister has been with me, brother, in so many ways, man. And, again, my mom taught me of him. And when I saw him, I recognized who he was, brother. It was real. It was real. It was real. Wasn't nothing to think about.
Praise be to Allah. Well, I didn't know any of that. That's an amazing testimony and story. You getting so many comments and so many people showing you love. Please continue to like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. I want to come back to one point, but I want to stay right here. I want to go back to this point about your mother and the graduation. Were you able to give her the tassel and things like that?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I graduated. I did it. I followed Brother Theodore's instructions, man. I stayed in school. And like I said, that's when I went underground. I stopped hanging out, stopped doing those things. I graduated on the dean's list with a degree in computer information system. So
yes, sir.
I don't have a diploma on my wall. My mom.
Okay. So you gave it to your mom's. Okay, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She earned that.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Well, let's go to the the physical side of Islam, as far as especially the FOI with the training that we're taught as fighting. You are a great instructor of Hapkido.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. So what made you what made you get into Hapkido, and how was that affected
Again,
your FOI role?
Josh, I heard, and we all say it all the time: a woman can't raise a man. That's
Yes, sir.
just, at some point in time, man got to be, women can't. And then I heard the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said, yes, she can.
Mm, mm,
He said, my mother raised me.
mm.
And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, he's right. My mother raised me and two other boys. He said, a special woman, a good woman, has the ability to raise a man. And we have it in the scripture. It was Jesus and his mother Mary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So a woman can raise a man, but a woman has to be in a certain state in her mind in order to do that. But you hear most of us say you need a man around. I said that to say my mother always made sure that we was doing things. And I was aggressive when I was younger. So she put me into martial arts. I started martial arts at 10 years old, 11 years old. So I've been doing martial arts for now 47 years.
Praise
And
be to Allah.
yeah, it was hard. Shotokan was our base karate, and we breaking wood and beating our knuckles up and all
Yes,
that
sir.
hard stuff, brother. So, and as you get older, like our brother dear Bruce Lee said, boards don't hit back.
That's right.
So
That's
while you
right.
punching on all these hard things, messing your body up, well, what's the purpose, man? Our running in the nation hindered my studying the martial arts like I used to, like I would. And I wanted to get back into the martial arts, but I didn't want to take anything hard because I had got older and, playing football, body injuries and things like that. So I found Aikido. And Aikido is a spiritual art that deals with non-aggression. I'm out in the field soldiering the final call in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And man, I saw a dojo. And I said, well, let me go check this out. Because I like martial arts. So I went up in there, Josh, and it was quiet. Everybody was sitting in the stage there. Everybody's sitting, and it was just quiet. And I come out, just quiet, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, wow. So then this woman, at the time, it was a demonstration. And this woman came out, and she was just throwing everybody, man. And she was throwing everybody from her knees. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, so they asked anybody want to sign up for a free class. I'll go take a free class. And at that time, I'm a lot heavier, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And brother, when I took that class, man, and this woman threw some techniques on me, bro, man, where do I sign up at? And the thing is, it's so natural. See, the minister talked about it in our book, Closing the Gap, in which we definitely got to talk about that.
Oh, we coming there.
And he talks about Allah is never the aggressor. He sets a pattern, but he waits for those to violate his pattern, then he reacts, but he always reacts. And that's the spirit of Aikido, is non-aggression. I can't make a move on you until you make one on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But hopefully I'll set the pattern of peace that will stop you wanting to make a move on me. But when you do, it becomes very serious. We all familiar with Steven Seagal. And,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's serious in that. And
absolutely.
I was trained with some of his students as well. And I started Aikido in 1997, 98. And I've been really training in that particular art since then.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. What was it like for you meeting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the first time?
Wow, brother. Again, I was a captain at the time. And myself, and you had him on your show. They're a good brother of mine, Majid in Detroit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He helped me out with a lot too, man. I was going through some things, and me and him got real close at captain retreats and stuff. And me and him, Majid and myself, was invited to a regional meeting, the only two local captains, by our present Supreme Captain, Mustafa Farrakhan. He invited myself and Brother Majid to the regional meeting. So we're the only local captains there at the time. So now it was time to go to dinner. And we were invited to dinner. Now, needless to say, not to cast any aspersion at anybody, we was blocked at the door.
Mm, mm, mm.
And the word got in from the Supreme. And being the brotherly spirit that he is, he came outside, man, and he brought us in there. So that was actually the first time I actually went in to meet the minister. Now, you've probably been in the past more than I have. In Chicago, you know how the table arrangement set up, and then there's the little bench on the side over there, stuff like
Yes,
that.
sir.
So, you know, I'm at the bench, bro. I don't mind though. I don't mind. This is the first time, so I'm good. But another shout out to our dear brother Mel. I'll be pleased with him, brother Captain Gregory Muhammad,
Yes,
another
sir.
brother from Philadelphia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, he always reached out and kind of helped as well. And he was there. He came up to me and said, "But man, come on, sit at the table, bro. I just take my seat." I said, "No, sir. Go ahead, brother." You know, because I'm really nervous. I don't know what to expect, man. So that it was more of a nervous kind of did not know what to expect, just kind of like taking it in. And when we had to go around the table and introduce ourselves to the minister, one of the brothers was sitting on the floor. He teasing me because I was sitting there, tapping his chest. My heart was racing, brother. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
to
Yes,
meet
sir.
the minister at that time, it was a blessing, but it was kind of like just taking it in. I couldn't make no heads or tails. Just an honor to be in the presence of the minister.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And we definitely want to come right back to that closing the gap book. That's one of my talking points. But before we go, I have a quick 60-second commercial break before we get it finish the questionnaire, the questions that we have coming. And thank you all for your comments in the chat. We'll definitely come to those, but I want to give a quick 60-second shout out to all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast this month. I want to first, if you all like to be a sponsor or donor to help continue to promote the People's Podcast, please cash app the People's Podcast. My brother Rashad, Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Thank you very much. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Thank you very much. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls across the country. We love our tiny dancers. Also, our brothers out of Los Angeles, MTS, MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you all across the country. Thank you very much, Brother Kenneth. Sister Latasha Muhammad out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Queen Desire Poetry and Apparel. Amazing poetry and great apparel as well. Our brother out of Chicago, Hip Hop Detox, Brother Enoch, is a holistic approach to assisting youth in the school systems. Middle school and high schools all across the country. Thank you very much, Brother Enoch. Dr. Robert J. Muhammad, his new book is on Amazon, Why Does My Back Hurt? And additional health tips and guidelines. Let's make sure we support Dr. Robert J. Muhammad and his new book on Amazon. Sister Latasha, My Letter A Book. Sister Latasha, My Letter A Book. Sister Landry L. Muhammad. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services out of Chicago, Illinois. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you all very much for every sponsorship, every donation. We truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank everyone for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Okay, let's talk about Closing the Gap, the amazing book from the Most High Min Farrakhan and your connection to the book, sir.
Wow. Again, being blessed, man, to be able to assist the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Any opportunity that we get to help the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, we don't run from it.
Yes, sir.
You know, we don't run from it. I think I was introduced by Brother Marlon, who was at the time the point person for Brother Jabril, assistant for Brother Jabril, Brother Rudy, my brother out of Phoenix, Arizona, New York. He introduced me to Brother Marlon, and Brother Marlon, myself, Captain Richard out of New York, Brother Sean Six, Brother Michael T from Atlantic City, student minister down in Atlantic City. And I believe that was it. And, you know, we were blessed to be able to be a part of producing the book, the physical book, I should say, Closing the Gap. It was definitely an honor, you know, again, getting ready to walk up to Brother Jabril's house, brother. You know, here's the angel now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That the scripture talk about Jabril, and I'm blessed to be able to walk up to his house, man, getting ready to meet him. Man, what an honor, brother, what a privilege. I learned so much, and I'm sure he put so much on in our minds because, man, brother, he would just have us read things and read and read and read and read. So we had one of the tasks was going around the nation asking those of us to donate to the project. And you'll see those of us in the back of the book who made small donations as much as $5, $10, to some made $1,000, some made $5,000 donations to produce this book. We were part of that, gathering the finances for the book. We were blessed to be a part of actually, we were looking at pictures at one time that he was choosing for the book. We went to the printer and walked with him through the printer. I mean, very meticulous, man, very, knows what he wants and wants what he wants. And it's a reason for it. The paper itself was chosen particularly for this book, the original book that came out. So we were blessed to be, I think we mastered that for about 3 years, going back and forth to Phoenix, Arizona. Again, I think a lot much I had the wife that I had who supported that, never hindering me to help the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Here's the thing about that, Brother Josh, I may say that's very important. My wife loves the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And how could you not love somebody who loves what you love?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How could you not take care of somebody who's taking care of what you love? See how it works? So I can get my wife's love all day long, twice on Sundays, because I'm going hard for the minister. And she loves the minister. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It adds up mathematically. And the reason I bring that up, because me flying back and forth to Phoenix, that's our own finance. Back and forth to Phoenix, our own finances. So, and not just Phoenix, we traveled pretty much touching believers all across the country, raising funds to produce the book. But those funds came out of our household. But my wife never complained. My wife never complained, so I thank Allah much for that. But yeah, it was an experience. And again, sitting with Brother Jabril, I didn't know at the time he was taking a little Aikido. One of the brothers, it was interesting because he asked me about a question and threw me for a loop because I didn't know he knew that I was training.
Yes, sir.
But it was a brother that was out there. One of the brothers, a former minister that was out there, and he was like a 7th degree in Aikido. And I really didn't know that till after the fact. But it was just a lot of lessons, brother, a lot of lessons learned, man. And how to do things. And it helped with the faith, it helped with the faith. He would share stories. Like one story he shared how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent him to buy some property from some Orientals or Chinese, and they refused. And he went back to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and told him they wouldn't sell. And then he said, well, go tell them I have their history. And he went back exactly like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, we have your history. And they sold the property to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And look, whether we understand them or not, that's how we got to move out, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how we got to move out. We got to move out. I heard the story, brother. The Italians stole the truck from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he told me he got 24 hours.
Yes, sir.
To have that truck back. Well, we had a Respect for Life store. Me and the brother Benjamin, who was really a good brother of mine, fraternity brother as well. He came in the mosque, we're together. We had a Respect for Life store, right, John?
Yes, sir.
They broke in and stole our stuff out the store. So we right in the hood. So we put the word out. They got 24 hours to have our stuff back. Or we're going to be dealing, right? So by the time I got to my grandma's house, who was maybe about 3 or 4 blocks away from a store, she got a call. She said, baby, they got your stuff up there at the store. But God is my witness. I turned right back around, went into the grocery store. They had our stuff in the black bags, man. And they gave us our stuff back. I said, see, but again, the faith and the belief. So the minister, these principles, he's bearing witness to this man in the scripture, bro. We just have to have faith enough to stand on what he said. Because his words, bro, his words, not mine.
Yes, sir.
Not mine. And see, that's why we study the way we have to study, because he said in the Closing the Gap that he wished all the believers would see him in the role of a student. See, and we have to be students, because in order for us to become who we desire to become, it's going to be in the Word. You know, one of my favorite parts in the Gap, page 51 to 53, Closing the Gap, he says the God conscious individual is less likely to misperceive reality than one who forsakes Allah God. He says, when we forsake Allah God, we forsake him who is the only reality and that which we're trying, the creator of that which we're trying to perceive. So if we living in a situation, in a reality, and you see what's going on in society, if we have a God conscious view of what's going on, we know and understand what's going on. We see what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But the minister says, only through the eyes of the only reality can we properly perceive reality. Because there's only one reality. So again, that's been my way. So when Brother Marlon and them came to me and asked me to help with the Gap, man, why not? Why not?
Praise be to Allah.
You know? So even with Dr. Bettina's, even with Dr. Bettina, Brother Jabril's wife, we work with helping her, moving her around. You know, again, serving the believer. The key word is the service of the believers, man. And any opportunity that we get to serve the believers, we're gonna do it. You know, coming in the South, I didn't come down here to work in the ministry, but your father asked me to help, man. Why not help him? That's championship team right there, bro. You're gonna get, hey, John, you're gonna get the ring, bro.
Praise be to Allah.
So when these men like your father, Minister Kadir, you know, Captain Majid, you know, when these men ask to help, man, why not? If they're gonna help the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, why not?
Praise be to Allah.
So that's how I'm moving. Go ahead. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
No, yes, sir. But speaking of that, I interviewed Minister Kadir's son, Alifez, and we were younger when you know our fathers were in a certain different role in the 90s and things like that.
Man, I had me tears up, brother. I brought up some tears to my eyes. I saw that interview.
What was it like for the 90s when we were, you know, young? What was it like for you to be a FOI during that time period?
Man, it was 24/7, brother. You know, and I saw Alifez and them when they was babies, man, and you know, because I was on security detail, we would take Minister Kadir home, and you know, they saw us, man. It was just 24/7, brother. I didn't get into the house, you know, and I have to give credit. My wife understands that, to my ex-wife, because she dealt with a whole lot at the time. Me just, you know, there's no turning around, but I'm like Lot, man. I'm like Lot. I ain't trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hear that. But she tolerated a lot, because at that time, brother, oh man, brother, we was burning the oil, brother. We didn't get home till 2, 3 in the morning. You know, 2, 3 in the morning. Then when you're like with your father, paper night, you know, you at the mosque 2, 3, 4 in the morning, bro. Because you know it's our desire to help the Honorable Minister Farrakhan that fuels us, man.
Praise be to Allah. Well, speaking of that, what was it like leading up to the Million Man March, and how did that personally impact you?
Wow, brother. The Million Man March. Again, it's written in the scripture. You know, Lazarus come forth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lazarus come forth. And us being a part of that, oh man, you know, again, I didn't really experience it until I watched it on video. You know, and we were there like maybe 3 in the morning. So we were up on the stage 3, 4 in the morning before security was even set up, man. So we saw people walking. So, you know, once you're in that position, I'm like, man, I'm looking down now, and there's thousands coming down, thousands. So I got off the stage, man, because I wanted to be in the mix, bro. And once we got off the stage and been in the mix, brother, it was unbelievable, bro. See, again, bearing witness to the scripture. You read the scripture, and then you think you have life when they testify me. So it's easy to see who the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is if we lay him over the scripture, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Testimony, you know. So we are his witnesses. So you giving us an opportunity to testify and bear witness to this man's greatness, man, it's a blessing, Josh. So we thank Allah much for you, brother, just opening the airways.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of that, you spoke earlier, you said when they would say that we're not real Muslims or call us shirk. What would you give to the new people coming in right now to defend that?
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, YouTube, are the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad guilty of shirk? See, we got to be students, bro. And what better teacher to have than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? He has tapes out there, bro. His word, man. We don't think the law, this is Allah serving among us, bro. There is no subject matter that we can't touch, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some people call a little arrogance about me, but that's me. I know the man who knows everything. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How could you come to me and ask me a question and I had an answer to it?
Yes, sir.
And Brother Theo started that in my development because he made sure those tapes that I got, 3 rules that prove that Master Father Muhammad is God. Come on, man.
What are these things? Like, let us know. Like, expound on that. Like, because everybody's not gonna go back and look on YouTube. Everybody's not gonna go do the research. Somebody's gonna watch this.
And I share this with a lot of us, Brother Josh, and that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. In order for me, let me say this. In order for me to be the best follower I can of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, I have to study his past.
Yes, sir.
See, because if he says something to me today, I have to wait for it to happen and see if he's telling the truth or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? But if I go study him in the 80s and his tapes in the 70s and look at him today bears witness to what he said yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And it makes me a stronger believer for tomorrow. So tapes in the 70s, tapes in the 80s, man, we eat them up, brother, all day long, twice on Sundays.
Yes,
so
sir.
When you talk about a subject, there's not a subject that the minister has not covered, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Out there who speaks to the handicapped society, brother. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Coaches Association. Coaches. He got a tape out there. Speak to the Coaches Association. The Lions Club. He got a tape out there. Now this was Blue. He spoke to the Lions Club. Now these are all Caucasian people, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I saw their faces at the beginning of it, man, at the ending of it, bro. Oh, brother, they was loving on the minister. I said, wow. See, we need to see things like that.
Yes, sir.
Because we're approaching the hour that they're going to be casting these aspersions and lies, man. Right?
Yes, sir.
We're approaching the hour that the minister makes his ascension. So we have to be studied. So when the enemy use Hollywood, right, to make things look real, I was watching Godzilla and King Kong.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sitting there, and that's old stuff. We had old Godzilla movies back in the days, but I was just amazed how this thing looked real. I said, man, the power of the Hollywood. That's where they get the term Hollywood from. That was Merlin's, the magician's wand.
Yes, sir.
The hollow wood. That's what he used to do his thing.
Yes,
so
sir.
we know Pharaoh is going to call the magicians and the sorcerers, brother. We know that. We're going to watch it. So now let's look at the time when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed.
Yes, sir. Let's deal with it.
And there's an interview out there, and it's circulating. If you don't have it, we'll get it to you. Where Brother Jabril interviewed Joshua. And I think Joshua, I saw that interview. He touched it on your show.
Yes, sir.
He was one of the young brothers in the hospital. See, those are the things we got to feed on, because now it's interesting that when you look at that writing, Brother Jabril places with that writing all major articles. And you can read, man, how everybody, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad dead, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all these magazines, see, laying their base. So now here we coming up on it again. And we see what they did to our brother R. Kelly. We see what they did to our brother Mike Tyson. We see what they did to our brother Bill Cosby, right? Even some of their own when it comes down to this issue with women, right? So now we know the ultimate aim of this world, Josh, is to do what? To kill the messenger of Allah. That's the ultimate aim. So everything we see on television, brother, the ultimate aim of it is to kill the messenger of God, brother. So we have to study these things so when it comes up again, we won't be duped. We won't be taken off course, because it's going to made to appear that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan died. It's going to made to appear that his domestic life was this and this and that. Now, we all know and study the domestic life of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's not what's going to get us, I don't think. I think it's their expression on how. We know the minister has wives. That's not a secret. He's the man of God. It's written in the Bible, man. See, either you believe he's the man of God or he not. See, that's how I'm coming with you. First of all, you gotta believe he's the man of God. And if you don't believe any man of God, ain't no sense of having this discussion with you.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
if he's the man of God and the scripture bears witness, then again, but it's their projection of it. I think we're gonna wrestle with how they're gonna make it look filthy and make it look dirty, so. I'm sorry, Josh. When I get, man, when you start.
Oh, no. Go ahead, please. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And I pray that we all pass the I pray that we all pass the test, sir. I pray that we all pass the test.
See, and that's the beautiful thing about the book, bro. It's the heart, mind, the interview of the heart, mind, and spirit of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Now we're talking about this as the man of God, and we are blessed to give a peep into his mind. So we have a year now anniversary of our Closing the Gap pod class, we call it. And we've been meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, Sunday mornings, and 8 in the evenings. And, we got 25, 30. We started with 3 brothers, myself, Brother Taquan, and Brother Yusuf, Brother Joseph. And man, Allah's blessed us, and we got 20, 30 believers, man, that's really studying this book. And we just, every week, we go into subject matters and things like that. That's how I met our dear brother Camille. I said I had to apologize to John. Said he was trying to get in touch with me for a year, and he tried to hit me on Messenger. I said, man, but Brother Camille did it in a couple of days. That's an excellent, very good brother. So it's important that we get into this study because this closed the gap. This closes the gap to my thinking and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's thinking. So the scripture says, my thoughts are not yours. Mine from above and yours from beneath. I know my thoughts, Brother John. Hey, Josh, you mess around, Brother Andrew. Mess around you want to, brother. No, yes, sir. No, sir, brother. No, brother. No, yes, sir. So, yes, sir. But all praises due to Allah.
Praises be to Allah. And thank you again for your great transparency in your teaching and expounding on the teachings. Let's deal with this Closing the Gap pod class. How can people join? Is it a phone number? Is it a website?
Zoom, 986-475-4829. 986-475-4829. Again, 986-475-4829. That's 8 o'clock every Sunday morning. And since Ramadan, Sunday evening at 6. And after Ramadan, we go back to 8 p.m. 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Praise be to
Allah.
We
just come together, subject matter. We are talking right now. We just finished up a 5-week study on how strong is our foundation? Can we survive? Is it possible that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is still physically alive? And we was touching that because, again, we're going to have to prove that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is not dead. A dead man can't follow or can't lead us nowhere.
That's right.
See, so we're going to have to be able to prove that first to ourselves and then to others.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And may I ask if you could just say one of the points that you all use dealing with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad being physically alive? What were some of the things that you all said?
Well, we dealt with the possibility first. What's the definition of possibility?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We deal with probability later that it was a black man but what is the possibility of one of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad being physically alive? So one of the things we know as students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Minister Farrakhan teaches us that if you can get a body within 24 hours, you could bring it back to life. See? So we dealt with that. We have a Dr. William who's on the call as a lot. He gives us some medical views on certain things. We dealt with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's teachings that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him that Allah showed him how he was going to save him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my life is a witness. That's why I shared the 2007. Allah showed me through the minister that I could make it through what I went through in 2009. I had to see it, man. See? So again, many of us go through what we go through as believers, but our faith has to be in what we say we believe in. The minister said, belief is a confident, or faith is a confident belief. See, we can accept something as truth, but do we trust in it? That's where faith comes in at. So in the Closing the Gap, he talks about patience. And one cannot have patience without knowledge, faith, and love. See, knowledge, faith, and love. You can't have patience, man. I went through some things by the grace of Allah growing up in this nation in the little time that I've been in it. But it was my faith, my knowledge. I was a student. I studied. And then my faith, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I heard the minister said that he can't promise you that you will not get a hickey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He
Yes,
can't
sir.
promise you that you won't go to jail. He can't even promise you that you will not lose your life, but he will promise you victory. See, and God takes us through those things. I had a severe altercation with police brutality when I first came into mosque, Josh, 6 months in, and I was tested. My faith was tested. 6 months in, I was charged with assault on 7 police officers. And
7 of them.
Yes, sir, it was 7. And I was 6 months in. Got my ex in October 1989. And I had this incident with this riot in Jersey City in 1990, in May, Memorial Day. My faith was tested. Now, did believers or anybody responded the way I thought they responded, or anybody else would have responded? No, but it wasn't about them. My faith had to be tested. I did get the hickey though. They hit me with a baton, and it's got the scar on my head. I did go to jail. They locked me up that night, right? But I didn't lose my life. Allah blessed me with victory because I'm living to tell about it. But it's the faith in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Let me share this with you with the straight tie, Josh. I share it all the time. The bow tie is our thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So when the minister started back wearing the straight ties, then we started wearing the straight ties a little more. But the bow tie was our thing. So again, the minister talked about the time he went into the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he thought he was dressed up and dressed up and had his handkerchief. And he said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, brother, the devil watched you when you came in here. He said, yeah, Muhammad got his body, but I got his mind. He said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, brother, I want you to go down and get the finest mohair suit that the Jews make. He said, brother, get you a bow tie, brother. Go like you see me go, right? So I said that to say, when I got into the incident with those police officers, if I had a straight tie on that day, brother, they would have hung me out there in the streets. Because the first thing they grab for, Josh, there's a hole right here that you grab somebody by the collar and you control their body, you control their neck. And when they grabbed that area, my bow tie came off. And I said, Allahu Akbar. And then we went dealing, But again, faith, knowledge. See, I had to study. You got to have knowledge. And then there's love. What is Jesus? Jesus is love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My mother showed me love.
Yes,
I didn't understand it, but she showed it to me. And see it again, it was the Honorable Minister Farrakhan that showed me that I have the mother that I know now, that I have today. I didn't know it, brother. I'll be honest with you. I did not know I have the mother that I have today if it were not for the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, brother. Because he opened me up. That's when I said he healed me spiritually, mentally, and emotionally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You growing up, obviously my father, I'm lighter. My mother was a dark-skinned, long-haired, beautiful woman. Long hair, dark skin. She's getting older now. She's lightening up, but she was dark when I was growing up. My younger brother, God rest his soul, was dark skinned. That's her baby boy. I'm the middle. So, I'm dealing with that emotionally, man. My mom wasn't that type of person, her lovey-dovey, lovey type stuff, But the minister, how to give birth to a God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was the auditing process that he gave me. And I began to study it and look into it. And then I began to get a deeper understanding of some of the things that my mother experienced when she was growing up. And, the nativity of my womb, why I'm a certain way. The minister helped me see that, man. And again, it's just believing in who he is and accepting it. And now growing into knowing who he is.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, let's go back to the incident.
I knew you were going
Brother Aaron with the police. Did you were by yourself?
Yes, sir. Well, eventually I was out. We were soldiering the papers. And I never forget at that time, the NBA was around May or June. It was Memorial Day. I never forget it was the Lakers playing. I was in my mother's house. I stopped at my mother's house that day. And I think it was the Lakers. Somebody was on. And I heard a bang at my door. My cousin had got beat up by the police in Jersey City. We have, Darby's is known in Jersey City. That's another story. Anyway, I'm covered by my father's name at the time was Stewart. My last name Stewart, and my younger cousin name was Darby. So we have a thing with the police, and my cousin and them was out grilling. You know how we do in the streets and stuff. Instead of going to the park, we grill out on corner and stuff. 800 all day and this and stuff like that. So they caught my cousin. They beat my cousin, and they beat him bloody. And another cousin of mine came to my house, and he banging on the door, and I ran out the house. Now I'm like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 blocks from the police station, police department where I lived at, real impact in the hood. And I was running to the police station. And on my way there, the traffic was jam-packed, and I just kept hearing somebody yelling my name. Police officer cars, zero, sirens everywhere. And I look into one of the police officer car, and my cousin was in the back seat, bloody, man. So they take him to the precinct. I got to the precinct, and when I got there, again, I was known as Aaron X then, everybody, Aaron X. And when I got there, they said they didn't have my cousin back there. So the crowd was big riot out, about 300-400 people outside the police, man, throwing bottles, everything. And I'm saying, my cousin here, I need to see my cousin. So we go, your cousin is not here. So when I go inside, they throwing bricks. When I come outside, and I said, look, I know he's there. I need to see him. So they took me in the back. They had him handcuffed. He was bloody, man. Like I said, they beat him, and he was bloody. So I went back outside, and I let everybody know he's in there. And God's my witness, just like a Malcolm scene. And the police came to me and asked me, can you move the crowd down the street? So I said, okay. So I got everybody, we moved everybody down the crowd, which was a block over from the police officer, from the police department. And we all standing there. And a bus came by. And when the bus came by, it blocked our vision. And when that bus passed, next thing you know, we saw riot gear, just like that. And it chased the crowd. And see, again, the minister, brother, is such a guide, man. I heard him say, you don't move at the roar of no crowd, man. Because they was yelling, Hosanna, Hosanna.
That's right.
And the next minute they were saying, crucify them.
Yes, sir.
See, his words come back to mind. So in our training, get out of the line of fire. So everybody's just running now. And I got out of the line of fire. I stepped over there, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then police officers, man, it had to be about 7, 8 of them. They looked at me and they came towards me. And that's when they went to grab me, and we went to doing what we do, man. And I got some cousins out there that's about it. And, they didn't do what they do because they didn't say I was in the way, as they say. Mm-hmm. So, national television, yelling Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, I got some calls from the bros down in Alabama. Say, damn, Aaron, you still giving them hell up there. He out there giving them hell, right? Because I had a little thing like that. It's a history, family history with police and stuff. So anyway, we fast forward to that, man. And it was some trials for me. They put me out of school because I was a teacher at the time. So they put me out of the city. And they said that they wouldn't let me teach back in the city until this is rectified. So I got a lawyer, Ray Charles, at the time. And to my knowledge at the time, I thought he was going to be a real great help. He was. I say he was. But it was interesting when I walked in the same picture that I have of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Man, when I walked in his office, brother, he had one of them huge ones of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad up in there. So I was like, wow, okay. So we talking, and, I was 24 at the time. I was 24 at the time, 24, yep, I was 24 at the time. And, they talked me into just settling, not pressing charges because they hit me what they call a death blow.
Mm.
So I settled, so I can get back into the teaching. We settled. They were supposed to expunge my records and charges and all of that. Show you how we are. The enemy is. I got back into the system. The day I went back into the system, Josh, they pulled out a file cabinet and they opened they opened this file on me with a big picture of me handling the police. They said, "Is this you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, that's me." She was like, "Don't worry about it. We're gonna go ahead." So then I went back into the school and teaching. But that incident was a trial for me because a lot of people were rallying and having rallies and different things for it, man. And, we didn't respond as we should have. We didn't respond as we should have as a nation. I said not as a nation, let me say that. Individuals, let me say that. And that's what I learned. See, that's another thing. Again, I'm not the nation. See, I'm not the nation. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and you got to understand that. So whatever I think and thought and do, it's not a reflective of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's why I strive to walk right as possible, because I know if I go out here and do some old crazy stuff, they ain't gonna say, they're gonna say the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's followers. So we have to be mindful of that. So things didn't move the way a lot of us. I was cool with it, but a lot of my parents, my brothers, they was all upset and where they sad, and the people in the city was where the others at, blah, 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 blah. So when I finally got to court, I have to admit, only one brother came to court, Minister Kadir. He came to court with me. Yeah, and it was a dear sister, Sister Carolyn. I haven't seen her since then, but she came to court. And you know how your mom's is. That's the only one I respect. See that sister, she in the court with her headpiece. I respect her, you know. So, but for me personally, though, that was a trial for me personally, and that's how I explained it to my family. If that was me 6 months in, what I'm gonna do? See, so I thank Allah much for it, and it just increased my faith. Had to go through what you had to go through, but I'm here by the grace of Allah. I'm here, Icky and all, So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm sure the police officers didn't walk away completely unscathed. So
nah, actually, it's interesting. Two of them, one of them got murdered 2 weeks later. The other one got shot up in an armed robbery. Same one. Yep. I know. I got the picture in the same officers. I know them all. They know my family and everything. It's interesting how you learn a lesson. Remember I told you my grandmother lived down the street from where our Respect for Life store? That's where the incident happened at. So I'm sitting down there outside with my grandma. They have another riot across town. This is another time. So my cousins run, come on, Ann, come on. I sat right there. My grandma looked at me. She said, you learned your lesson, huh? I said, nah, y'all go ahead, man. Go ahead. My grandma looked at me, man. She said, you learned your lesson, huh? Yeah.
Yes, sir. And once again, bro, I want to thank you for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of
thank Allah, brother. Thank Allah, man. Thank Allah for your opportunity to be able to share it. And we pray that someone gets something that it may strengthen them in their faith and their belief, man, and in their help of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Speaking of the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan, what has been your favorite place to, you said you traveled to Belize and you've been around the country with the minister and around outside of the States. What has been your favorite place to travel with the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan?
Wow, man. I went to Belize with him. That was an experience, man, because, it was only a few of us there. And from checking and, man, setting up chairs with 3,000 people in the arena and checking everyone on with about 2 people on check, 3 people on check. That was an experience. We know, Josh, you travel when the minister goes, man. And then even at that time with my illness, I can't eat at certain places. See, even that, God bless me. Now he made, I have to follow down on Elijah Muhammad now. I can't eat pizza no more. I can't eat, you know what I'm saying? He narrowed it down. He locked me in, but I had to pay a price though, because I was a heavy pizza eater. And man, how to eat to live. Page 141, I tell you straight up, it stretches the alignment. So to your answer, yes, sir.
What is it about the pizza? Is it the cheese or the?
It's the wheat.
So it's the bread. So it's the actual bread of the pizza.
It's back. Yeah, it's the gluten. See, and again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in that same chapter 41, pure wheat And we heavy bread eaters. I like bread, man. I eat a loaf of
Me too.
bread.
That's what I was asking.
I eat a loaf of bread, brother. But what happens is, and most people experience it, you get a pain in your stomach. You start eating, you get a pain, you becoming gluten sensitive. They use the term gluten sensitive because what it is that they take the gluten out of the wheat prematurely. So it's not the gluten is bad. You know how the enemy does. He takes it out prematurely before it fully is developed and then puts it back in.
Mm.
So again, a testimony to the teachings. If I didn't strive for the past 30 years to eat one meal a day, not perfect, the doctor told my wife to his face, she said, if your husband was anybody else walking in here, he'd be dead right now. He looked at 2 files. I had a holistic cardiology up in New Jersey and one down here. And he had both records in front of me, Josh. And he said, what is the chances of one individual coming into my office with 2 rare diseases and survive? Me and my wife looked at each other and smiled. And all praises due to Allah, Master Father Muhammad. That's the, don't get it twisted. You know what I mean, brother? But again, it's that practice and belief in faith. Nobody's perfect, man. Who's perfect? Only one man I know is perfect. That's the Honorable Min Farrakhan. Yes, sir. Absolutely. But we're working and we can get there just by following his lead. So I say that because when you ask me about traveling with him, Belize was very dear to me because that's when he put his hand on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's when he actually like physically put his hand. I'll share this with you, Johnson's story. Your father brought me to see the minister one day. We was in Nashville. And man, we sitting at the table and it's intimate. There's only 6 of us. The leader at one end, your father at the other end. And National Secretary, Saad, and Brother Samuel from Nashville.
Yes, sir.
At the time, myself, and it was on one other brother. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, I can't eat this food, man. How am I gonna tell the minister? Can't, because when you become gluten-free sensitive, or then you get full-blown celiac, which what I had, it ripped my stomach and my alignment in my stomach. And what happens, Josh, you got these little cilias. God is awesome. You got these little cilias that take whatever food you eat, they have a mathematical coding to break it down. Your body knows it.
Yes, sir.
So if you're eating chicken, there's a coding to break that chicken down. So your body knows it.
Yes, sir.
What happens is when you become gluten, when you eat too much gluten, it wears those cilias down until there's no cilias at all. And when the food comes, that's what's happening. So every time I would eat a drink, man, it felt like somebody sticking daggers in my stomach. Right? So, and then at a certain point in time, a tumor, cancer built up in me. And that's what made me go under the knife. But if we sitting at the table and, hey, look, I'm not eating anything, bro. At this time, because even right now, if I get a taste of gluten, man, it comes out in ways, brother, that you don't want to be around, man. Really right now today. Again, following the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the devil said he's coming where? In Surata Mustaqim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So some of us are eating northern beans when we should be eating navy beans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Drinking milk off the counter when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said whole milk. He said pure wheat. So this wheat and these breads that we eating off the counter, no, sir. No, sir. I don't care what it look like, how fluffy it is, that gluten will kill you. And that's why a lot of us have a little pouchy stomach. Because I got to 105 pounds and looked like what they call, not to cast aspersion on our brothers, Ethiopians. You know how their stomach was out there? Yeah, my stomach was out there, man, and my body was gone. So we at the table, and in my mind, I'm not, hey, look, and again, back to my wife, all my travels now, everybody know, man, we're going to get something to eat. We going to Brother Aaron room because I travel with all my food. Let me show you the humbleness in this man called Farrakhan, Josh.
Yes, sir.
At the table, right? So I'm like, oh man, I just gotta let the minister know, man, I can't eat. So when they started serving the food, I said, dear apostle, I said, would you forgive me if I not eat? He said, what's wrong, son? So then he asked me, I started explaining to him. Guess what he says? He said, so how do you eat? I said, well, my wife packed my food. I had my room food into the room and stuff like that. He said, oh, no. Do you want to, we can stop eating. You can go get your food. We'll wait for you to come back to eat. Now I'm sitting at his table, bro. I sitting at his table, and he ready to stop his meal for somebody like me, man. See? So again, though, is it in the scripture? Of course it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of course it is. The humility of Jesus, right? So again, look at the blessing out of it now. So another brother comes in and meets with us. There's no room for him at the table. He goes, Brother Aaron, you let the brother have your seat and you come and sit over here with me. I said, oh my God. Now I'm sitting at his right hand while he's eating. You know what I'm thinking about, right? No, not trying to think at all, brother. I'm not trying to have no crazy thoughts, nothing. So I'm holding my thoughts, man. And again, put me in a state, man, where I kind of lost some of the things that he was talking about. But I do know from experience over time, certain situations and certain things come up and go, man, that's what he meant. Or
Yes,
that's what he said. So
yes,
I
sir.
sat there the whole night sitting with him, and he just, you know how the minister's just dropping and dealing. So, but to answer your question, the Belize trip, I think for me, you know, I went out to Jamaica. I shared this one when I first went to Jamaica in '90s, right after the Million Man March. That was mind blowing to me as well. And give a shout out to my brother Sadiq Melvin. He always know where to place you when you need to be.
Yes, sir.
Even though sometimes you don't think it's the right place, but trust me, it's the right place, brother. You know how them thoughts come up in your mind, Josh. You want to be a certain way and all that, but he has me with me anyway. Man, he put me in the right places at the right time. So we going there picking the minister up at the tarmac, and man, brother, when the minister came out, and when we turned around, the whole airport was full of brothers and sisters from Jamaica, bro. They had a fence wrapped around the airport because people was just, man. So when we got there, immediately I like to go amongst the people. Like when we went to Belize, man. I mean, when we went to Jamaica the second time, I went to Trench Town, brother. I went to Trench Town. I had to see where Bob Marley from. They talking about this Trench Town. I went to Trench Town. So that was in the second time when we went to Jamaica, Holy Day of Atonement. That was really an experience because this time I got to move around in amongst our community. And we went to Trenchtown, we went to Tivoli Garden where Don Bobo was from, you know, notorious, you know, the Caribbean Don.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
We were there, and I'm gonna tell you, Josh, everybody going on tours, right? I'm like, yo, look, I need me a tour guide. Take me around here to Tivoli, to Trenchtown. Hey, like, nah, these Jamaicans, bro, these Kingstons. Nah, we don't go over there. I said, bro, I need to go over there. So me and another brother rode with me. Brother parked down the street and let us out and sat there. And we walked up to Trenchtown, went where Bob Marley was born at. And at that time, his cook was still there. We got pictures with his cook that she was still cooking in this little hut. Man, it was powerful. Then we went over to Tivoli Garden. He did the same thing, dropped us off. And we walked into Tivoli Garden. They had barricades, and right across the street, they had tanks, bro. Tivoli Garden was notorious. They had a brother who was sitting in the corner over there in a wheelchair. And when we walked through the gates, they had barricades, you know, like them cement barricades.
Yes, sir.
No cars can come down there. So when we walked through, brother said, yo, call us over there. And he's yelling, you know, he said, we already know what time it is. He's sending out messages. So he asked us, are you with Farrakhan? He said, oh, yes, sir. Oh, brother, they started showing mad love. Everybody came out and see, bearing witness to who this man, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is. So those are some of the experiences that I cherish in walking with the man. You know, so.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you again for your transparency and your testimony. And thank everybody. Continue to watch People's Podcast. My next question is, sir, you keep speaking of the importance of your wife being with you during your ups and downs. What advice would you give to future husbands?
Man, brother, I'm gonna give you the advice the minister gave us. Hey, brother, me give you an advice, yes? I told you I struck out the first time, bro. See, so the last time we were blessed to be with the minister a couple of weeks back, a month back in Chicago, he said, brothers, he said, you all haven't really unpacked your wife yet. He said, you have to go back, and I'm paraphrasing, but you have to go back and rediscover, he used that word. your wife. There are things that Allah has blessed you. I said, man, my wife? Man, there's some more there. So, but guess what he says? He says, how do you rediscover your wife? Be a better man. Be a better man. So it goes back to what I was sharing with you earlier. The more I strive to be like him, who my wife loves, how can she not love me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on that. Now, if I slip on a banana peel and everything, trust and believe, my wife may give me some water or something, but she ain't gonna be tolerating too much of that, you know? But to your answer, those of us who have wives, man, and we striving, like the minister said, Allah has placed things in our lives that we haven't even discovered, but it's all based upon me being a better man. You know, I heard him say to, this is heavy, man, the minister, I heard him say to Sister Fantasia's husband, when she said that he said to the minister, and again, in my mind, he said to the minister that his wife has been an angel to him. And the minister said to him, yes, brother, and she needs you to be an angel to her. And how did I take that? You know how I took it. Fantasia can have an angel. Surely my wife can have an angel. So I have to work on being an angel for her. You understand? And that's in all aspects, man. All aspects, you know, all aspects. And we have Mother Khadijah. We think a lot much. We have Mother Khadijah as an example before us. Tell you a story, Josh, about Mother Khadijah. You mind?
Yes, sir. Of course not.
Brother, we in was it Phoenix or California on the West Coast on the detail? And you know, back then, brother, it's like this on post, Josh. We ain't smiling, nothing. So we in the hotel room, right? We in the hotel area where the rooms are at. We out in the hallway. We standing, me and another brother. I'm not gonna say his name, but he on one post and I'm on one post. Mother Khadijah comes out, and she goes, brothers. She said, people around here working. She said, it's okay, let them do their job. She said, listen what she said. She said, you can smile and break somebody's neck at the same time. And I just bust out laughing. And she looked at me, God's my witness. She said, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? I said, yes, ma'am. And ever since that day, I've tried to work on smiling more because I had this hard, stern look too, man. But she said that you can break somebody's neck and smile. These people are working. Let them do their job. Don't worry about it. See? So again, those instances like that, life lessons for me, man, you know.
Beautiful, yes, sir. And that's something that I had been striving to work on since I was a junior for a while when they first told me to work
on. A handsome smile too, brother. You got one of those smiles to light a room up, black man.
Well, if it wasn't for the podcast, people would never know. People always say, I didn't even know you smile because I'm always drilling, always on post. Ain't too much smiling, you know what I'm saying?
I got the same thing one time, brother. Man, I didn't know you smile, brother. I'm like, wow. Isn't that something though?
Yes, sir. What advice would you give to future fathers?
Man, future father. Well, I have 5 daughters. I have 5 daughters, brother. 2 sons, 5 grandchildren, 3 granddaughters, and 2 grandsons. Future fathers, man. Brother, you know, again, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan teaches in the book Closing the Gap, in order to be a teacher, we have to be a good student. And again, he says, those of us, he wished that the believers see him in the role of a student. And he says, we have to study. He said, the more one studies, the more one must practice. Mm-hmm. He said, it's our practice that refines our understanding of what we're studying. Page 101, Closing the Gap. And the reason that came to my mind when you asked about fathers, how was I as a son? Right? Now, either I was good or bad, one or the other. Let my mom tell you, don't interview my mom, Josh. I was a rough rider, brother. That's why he got me into teaching, Josh, is to get teachers hell, bro. But the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, brother, is the purest example of what a father is. I mean, we all have dads and we all have fathers, and you know, some of us grew up in 2 parents households, some of us grew up, but he is the example of what a father is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For young fathers, why not study him? He is the example. Why not study him? Now, the minister is such a beautiful human being that he's transparent. So we can learn from the quote unquote mistakes he made as a young father, right? We can learn. I've learned. And I'm learning right now. And I got a young son, 19. I got another son, 20, no, maybe 30 something right now, Josh.
Mm.
He's in prison. And my young son graduated from college at 17.
Mm.
My oldest son, man, brilliant, bro. Brilliant, bro. He wanted to, matter of fact, the minister picked him up or hugged him when he was 9 years old, man. The minister hugged him when he was like 9 for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And so I had him around, but he had to go learn some lessons. He in the school right now, so he'll be ready. He's in the ranks. He's in the ranks and following the teachings in prison and struggling. But to your answer, I try to be a better father, man. Try to be a better person. You know, like I said, I have a prior wife. I have 3 daughters from my prior wife, man. I try to be what none of my children, brother, don't know nothing but this. All those days when I was out there doing what I do, all they know is me in a suit and tie. That's it. That's it. Try to be the example that you want them to be. So that's the best advice I can give. I mean, we got the Father before us, but just be the example. Just be what you want them to be.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And thank everyone for your comments and your questions. What type of music do you listen to, Brother Aaron?
Now, I grew up listening to all types, man. And, you know, I see it coming out of my son because some of the stuff he listened to. But again, I can't knock him because I listened to Boy George growing up, man. Yes, I used to listen to a little Charlie Daniels country music. I like Charlie Daniels country. But, you know, of course, rap, brother. You know, definitely rap. But I like all genres, man. I don't really, if it sounds good to me, make me feel a certain way, brother, I just listen to it. I don't get caught up in the names, who this rapper is, artist is. They got to touch me, and then I just listen to it.
Will you ever write a book on your personal life?
Would I ever write a book on my personal life?
Yes, sir.
I probably would say that for somebody else, but I don't know. You know, that's why, again, you giving me the opportunity just to express some of the things that Allah has blessed me to gone through. And I thank you for that. But that book on my personal life, that's for somebody else probably to write, and not me. I wrote what I'm gonna write, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, and thank you all again. And so many people showing you love, Brother Aaron. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe. What do you want your legacy to be, sir?
Legacy. Wow. You know. Thought about that question, Josh, because I know you always ask that. You know, again, Josh, I'm not worthy enough to even write a legacy, brother. And when I say that is, when I think of a legend, man, I'm thinking, my mind just goes, you know, you know, just now, 2021, things are becoming balanced with the new generation, man. Y'all minds are so big, nothing excites y'all, you know. Oh, Dad, you flying? Oh, I did that 15 years ago, Dad. You know what I'm saying? But when I was growing up, when you think of a legend, man, my mind like, man, me, legend? Nah. Now, if you want to ask me, what would people, I would say this. What do I want people to think about when they think about their brother? Yes, I mean, when I'm gone, and inshallah, that'd be not right now. I'm trying to, I'm not clean enough to die right now, as they say, Josh. So yes, got some work to do, brother. But I would think, man, you know, man, just wanting people to see me as a great helper of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. He put that work in when it comes to Honorable Minister Farrakhan. He went hard in the paint, as they say, you know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, knowing that there's a big picture. You know, there's a big picture. And the scriptures speak about the Jesus as the light of the world. So what we do when we helping the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, who is the Messiah in our midst, we're doing for the world, bro. We're not doing just for a little nation and a little group. Nah, we getting ready to cube the earth. Yes, we getting ready to set the balance in the earth. We getting ready to rid the enemy from the earth. That's what this work is about. Yes, sir. You know, so when we helping our own way, so your way, you found your way. See, you found your way where you comfortable and you getting the word out, man. And you learning how to balance it, you know. So that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. And it's nothing more greater, the minister said, when somebody find their purpose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And your purpose is, you and I talk, you a teacher, I'm a teacher. My mom told me, be a school teacher. I was like, man, teachers don't make no money. I ain't trying to be no school teacher. Mom knows everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I went to school, computer information system, didn't get a job, substitute. One day, bro, fell in love with the classroom, man. So right now we doing a teaching thing, but we doing it out of classroom. We formed a consulting business, Elevated Places, consultant firm. We do workshops and training, staff development for teachers and things like that. But again, remembering me, a brother, man. Man, he gonna help the minister, but then he gonna be a brother. So that's what it's about, One for your brother, what you want for yourself. I take that serious, man. And those of us who know me, we will. That's how we go. That's how we go. One for your brother, what you want for yourself, man. I mean, the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan said in Closing the Gap, he said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him the best religion was do unto others as you want done unto yourself. He said, until that, see, this is our work. This is our mission. Then listen to our mission. He said, until that's the law of the land, you're going to always need police officers. I'm like, man, that's big, right? You're going to always need police officers until we all want for our brother and sister what we want for ourselves. We do unto others as we want done unto us. So remember me. I mean, I don't know, brother. Just trying to help the minister and working to be a brother.
Praise be to Allah.
And anyone that we can help, we here. Reach out to me, Josh. You got my number.
Yes, sir.
Anybody that needs some help, and they can get in touch with Joshua. Get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me. If we can help you, we're gonna help you by the grace of Allah.
Praise be to Allah. And I'm just happy that you are on our side, sir, because growing up, ever since I see you, you're always serious and in soldier mode, but it's not towards me or to the believers. It's always kind to us, but I just know I'm a fighter. So I'm like, I'm happy that he with us. And I'm on the detail. I'm like, brother Aaron, okay, we straight over there. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. You know what I'm saying? I think
Josh, it's interesting that you said that. That's one thing your father asked me to speak one day in Atlanta, and I said the same thing. I said, man, Minister Sharif is who he is, man. He said, well, one thing about it, bro, you're gonna win. So a winner loves to be on the team of a winner, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think a lot much. I'm on your team too, Josh. Because whether I was on your team or not, you're gonna win. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You stay with our Mr. Farrakhan, brother. You can't lose, man. You can't lose. And again, thanking you for giving believers an opportunity, brother, to testify, because people need to know, man. It's 7 billion people on the planet, brother. Just think how many do not know that Jesus is walking among us, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's heavy, man. Every time I think about that, the man that everybody been praying for, looking for, is walking right among us, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I close. I don't know how much time we got. I'm on your lead, but I think me and my mom had a conversation, and she was like, "Well, you think Mr. Farrakhan Jesus, huh?" So I said, "Hey, mom, you taught me X, Y, Z, and ABC. You taught me A, B, C, and D, E, F, G, and A by Z. And I talked to the ministers, this and this and that." My mom goes, "Oh, nothing else to be said then." Yeah, it's in the book, bro. It's he in the book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Praise be to God. And thank you. I see so many comments and some people showing love. Thank you all. I look forward to getting this on YouTube so people can share this all across the country. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast.
Nice, thank you, sir.
And I love you more, Brian, and your family.
Yes, sir. We'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Islam.